You're listening to this episode on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube. Hit that subscribe button and leave us a comment. It would greatly benefit the show. You introduce the show because you always ask the first question anyways.
Oh, but I'd like to hear you more. Will you keep this in?
Yeah, sure. Alright. Which camera? Hello and welcome to Movie Vaders with the Farx brothers. I'm Kirk.
I'm Kyle.
I'm Nick.
And we're joined with David Mair.
Yes.
Kyle, you always ask the first question. Go ahead.
Oh, screwed up the word David. Is it David or Dave?
David Mair, right?
Either one is acceptable.
Okay.
No strong preference.
And you are a doctor, right? Like the
Yes.
correct professional type. And to be for all legal purposes, you are here as a hobbyist, and
Yes.
all of your opinions are that of a hobbyist, unrelated to any medical license you may hold.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, wait, hobbyist as a doctor? What do you mean?
Well, just okay. So if someone were to look at filmmaking, we are not giving legally binding professional advice. We are not licensed by a board. Similarly, I'm sure that in the medical profession, is it ever the case that folks do their own research and then sometimes come with preconceived notions? This isn't me trying to make any sort of political statement, but like, you know, don't people try to do your job for you, and that's like not
Yeah, a little
helpful?
bit. The other thing is, like, you can't comment. Like, if I was to diagnose a known, or claim to diagnose a known public figure or something, that would be inappropriate because I haven't interviewed them or had them as a patient, or so. But I could, in theory, say like, well, these are some characteristics of someone with this diagnosis or something. But yeah, so
All the hallmarks of
Yeah.
collusion have occurred, but you don't know for sure that it was actual collusion.
Yeah.
I understand. And actually, what I think, so you're a filmmaker,
Yep.
fair to say.
Sure.
When he says I asked the first question, what he's asking me to ask you is, you do multiple things when you make your movies.
Yeah.
Which thing got you into making movies? Was it the directing? Was it the writing? Was it the editing? Was it the being able to shoot the camera? What was it that specifically made it? And wait.
I was going to say
Yeah, sorry. Welcome to Movie Vaders with the Farx brothers.
Again?
Again, yeah.
Oh, that was pretty good.
It's splashed.
That was terrible. Yeah, that was a good one.
It's special, 2 introductions. Yeah.
Yeah. It's still, people are listening for you. Okay.
I'm
They
sure
want
they are.
your voice. So I hope that was enough vamping, David, for what
I
is...
already managed to spill on myself.
Oh, yeah, Sam, I got a little wet right here. You can see it. I hope it's showing.
Your
reading
chair's
on
getting
camera.
wet a lot.
Yeah, well, sometimes when I sit in it. You get it?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
I think you need to see a doctor, but yeah.
Okay, Benjamin Shapiro. If it's getting that wet, you better see a doctor trying to produce that much liquid. So, writing, is it? Or
I honestly don't know that there's one particular thing that drew me into it. I mean, I've been interested in it probably the whole process since high school, and that's when we really, like, my friends and I in high school made a lot of short little films, and this would have been back in the early 90s, so it was shooting in sequence on a very terrible camcorder. And
for school or just for fun,
just
you
for
and your
fun.
friends?
Yeah, yep.
And when doing this, did you ever think, maybe I will pursue this professionally before becoming a doctor?
Yes, I did think about that, and I guess in some, probably not so much anymore. But there's always this part of me that's like, maybe I should consider going all in and moving to California. And
Really? Still? You have 3 kids.
yeah, I know. That's why I'm like, probably not. And I'll be like in my 60s and be like, time to go to California and try to break into the film industry. But that's probably
It could happen. You never know.
yeah, probably not. But
If you have FU money.
yeah,
you know.
exactly. Which I mean, I got kids to finish raising and get through college and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so.
you got 1 in college and 2 looking at college
Yeah,
in the near term.
In the near term, yes.
My kids are way away from that. The earliest one will be 13 years from now.
Okay.
So I've got a little
You got a
bit
little
of time.
Yeah.
So you didn't pursue this, it sounds like, because, hey, I want to do some lowercase c conservative things like start a family, be married, buy a house, and that's not as achievable Even Nick here has, our brother Nick he's bought a house. He's single, ladies. So am I
It's on the market again.
Gotta get it out there anyway.
Get it
so
out,
is Kirk, but
Yeah.
are we close? Don't
yeah,
worry
I
about
mean,
your
I think
life.
I think my personality type is not. I'm sort of risk averse, I would say, and so like a clear trajectory path where I knew there was pretty much for sure going to be work, and and that I was, in school. I was good at, and I liked science and that sort of thing. So that was certainly something that I thought was a kind of more guaranteed route to go. And like going all in on film was a pretty risky proposition, because even a lot of times people can be very good, but there's no guarantees whatsoever. So.
But the good doctors all find work, don't they?
Pretty much, yeah. Even the bad ones find work.
Again, you've casually observed, not speaking any specific way.
Yeah.
When do you go from making movies in the 90s in high school? I assume, did you make movies in college at all?
Yep.
Okay.
Less, but yeah, I did.
For school?
Mostly just for fun still,
Oh, okay.
but fewer. There was like on campus like a film competition thing, and we did a thing for that, and that was fun. I mean, but I had less time for it, and it was a little harder to put it together. And then took some time off for a bit.
When you go to med school?
Yeah, and then residency. I actually did do a couple things in residency. We did one little fun project and another that was more of a training video, which you can see online if you're so inclined. It's
Oh, we're going to link that now.
Yeah,
you
I
should have
gotta
already...
find
about managing violent patients. It's
Ooh,
an
wow.
educational one, but it has some humorous elements to it.
Who played the violent patient?
It was all fellow residents in the program.
And did you take over as like, hey guys, just so you know, I've made some movies in like high school and college. I've got some ideas on what we could be doing?
Yeah, I mean, I showed
Nice.
some of my previous work, which, it's pretty rough stuff, but I think they still have their charm. So
Great.
We can't most of those we can't put online because we used all kinds of licensed music, and then we would just, we would record, we would take a VCR that had stereo inputs, and we would just record in mono and put music off of like a CD player on one
Into the
channel,
other.
and then the audio from just the camcorder on the other, and that was how we did our music.
You tracked your own movie with,
Yep, all
songs.
kinds of great soundtracks.
And
John Williams and
wait,
Hans
you would
Zimmer.
take like actual like score
Yeah.
sometimes, and
Oh, yeah.
wow.
Yeah. So, and that was, we can't post those online just because it's full of copyright.
You can
music.
mute them and
I
post
guess
them
we
online.
could, but
And just put little titles like, this is the song we used here.
no.
That wouldn't, the effort, the juice wouldn't be worth the squeeze.
Yeah.
So where I'm curious, we've set a foundation.
Yep.
And you come back into it at some point.
Yeah.
And is that from 48 Hour? Is it from, okay. So the 48 Hour Film Festival gets you back into it.
Yeah.
When was this?
That was 2010, 11 ballpark.
So not long after you moved here from
Yeah.
South Dakota?
Well, I grew up in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. That's where me and my friends in high school made our films. And I
Yeah.
went to the University of Minnesota Morris
Oh.
for undergrad, then University of Nebraska for medical school, then University of Iowa in Iowa City for residency, and then we came back to Minnesota after residency. So 2008, I came back to Minnesota.
I've been to Iowa City recently. I sometimes am wearing the hat, the St. Croix. The last movie you worked on, I watched there with the Shocks. Retirement
Okay.
Party, because you worked on Retirement Party, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a 48-hour movie.
Yeah. Yep.
From the past 2025, right?
Yep.
So so you've been doing this 15 years. You've been making 48-hour movies.
Yeah.
For 15 years.
Yeah, and so we did that. We did the 48 a number of years. I helped out with one team. I don't remember the exact year. It's probably 2011 11-ish, and then assembled my own team after that, and we did a number of them. And then just because I only have so amount of energy and time to commit to it, switched over to mostly doing Z-Fest type films because that gives me a little more time and can make a better product, I think.
Sure. Do you want to explain the difference between those just because,
Yeah.
let's say this is someone's first comic book.
So for the 48, it's fun because you have 48 hours, you're randomly assigned a genre and line of dialogue, character, and prop, and you have to put those into a short film that you write, shoot, edit, and turn in 48 hours. So it's a fun challenge to move quickly and you don't sleep much, but the beauty of it is at 48 hours you're going to have something. It might be bad, but it's all consolidated. There's some prep beforehand quite a bit to get everybody lined up, but at the end of that weekend you're going to have something, so it motivates you to do something, which is fun. And they can turn out really good. Justin and Kristen Shack with Above the Line Entertainment, they have been doing it longer yet, and they do tremendous work on 48. They still keep doing it. And I helped out with them this summer. But just like I said, those weekends are very tiring, and Z-Fest, you have some kind of element that you have to have in there, sort of similar time requirement, I think 7-minute long film, but you can take months to get it done rather than 48 hours, which is a blessing and a curse because the 48 hours condenses it all, so you just have one really busy weekend, whereas for something that's more time you can spend, I go a month sometimes where I'm just working on VFX every night, for a month.
What's the conversation with your wife when it's like, okay, we're done with dinner, now I'm going to go to my computer?
Yeah, I mean, usually
really?
what it ends up being is, after kids are younger then, but like after the kids are in bed, I'd work late into the night, and I get a little hypomanic where I kind of go with less sleep because I'm so into it at that time that I maybe am only sleeping 4 hours a night and just working on it.
But doctor, if you get less than 6 hours, you're the equivalent of hungover.
Yeah, but you can go a few days with less sleep.
Again, not medical advice, but wait, hypomanic, I've never heard it. That's the word for...
Well, yeah, you've heard of bipolar disorder probably and mania. But hypomania is sort of a less severe form of mania with, so not to go too far into it, but, with someone who's in a full-blown manic episode may go days without sleep or just 1 or 2 hours for weeks at a time.
Oh, wow.
Where someone with hypomania might go for 4 to 5 days with like 3 or 4 hours of sleep per night, and it's not quite to the same level, but still out of character from their baseline. So that's a little what I'm like, I think. I'm in the middle of a project. But yeah, it is one of those things where, I know it's tough to, being a responsible parent and employed person to be working that many hours on something outside of it. So yeah, and that's like right now, I don't really have anything cooking because it's just my time has been taken up with other things.
Hey, your movie made it into TCFF with the Shocks, so that counts for something, and that was just, a couple weeks ago.
But yeah, and that was, that wasn't a huge time commitment for me, so.
What did you do on it?
I was assistant director, so I just did a lot of the coordination and just kind of whatever needed to happen on set, help make sure everybody was where they needed to be, got food, got communication with everybody.
That's an AD, yeah.
Yeah.
We pay people to do that because it's worth having somebody who is outsourced from the creative team that is thinking that way.
Yeah.
So that's huge that the Shocks know to have you do that. It sounds like you put a lot of emphasis in VFX. Are you specifically, I've seen your Z-Fest movies. I like Haunt That Like Button, for instance. That's 2 years old now? It's 2 cycles ago that you did that?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. And I guess there's effects in there. How long did that one take you? Because that was one shot.
Yeah, it was actually a lot in that one. More than you probably think or realize.
Sure.
So that one took a lot of time, and for fairly kind of subtle effects, like every candle flame on there was comped in because they're basically not moving at all for the first part, but then once the evil object emerges, then they all start flickering, and so I had to do that all in post, and so like he moves in front of some of them, so I had to rotoscope out the candles. The table was almost completely replaced with other elements that eventually get moved and replaced throughout the thing, because to do the arm coming to life, we had to prepare that ahead of time, exactly how we were going to do that, and then remove elements that like because we pulled the fake arm forward, and then that gets removed temporarily with my real arm, which was painted to look like the fake arm, and then crawl forward to where the artificial one was, and then have him grab it. But like, you don't want to see any of that on there, so things get removed and put back, and then the what appears on the infrared camera was all comped in and done after the fact. Yeah, and there was some retiming. Actually, it's made to look like a one-shot, but there actually were a couple cuts in there that just to cut out like a couple lines that got a little bit flubbed. I was able to just cut out like maybe 1 second and then morph it together, and you can't tell, but there are a couple lines that got fixed in post. So there's a few things like that took a fair amount of time too.
I can see my brother's face because he would do most of that on any project. That how did that make you feel?
Not alone, less lonely in the universe.
Less alone.
Less alone.
Because in my conversation is I can be an AD. I can't be a VFX person because I don't know.
You have
that.
the patience for it?
I have ignorance at this point in my life. I mean,
you can learn.
I appreciate your faith in me, and I agree that I should do better for you. It's probably not going to happen in the near term, but like just hearing, we would avoid most of those things. Or like, I guess when you designed the shot of the hand moving, you have it so, because is the table like this and the guy is behind this, so you have a hard line that you can just remove stuff from the bottom of the frame? I'm sort of trying to remember.
No,
now.
not really. I mean, so basically I had to roto the hand for the entire time it was moving. Not entirely, because the bottom part blended pretty well, but the top part didn't, and I had to like remove some of the artificial hand as well.
And are you doing this all in After Effects?
No, I mostly use DaVinci Resolve. It's got the VFX
Fusion?
built in. That's based on Fusion. 'Cause
Okay.
I used Fusion previously.
Oh, cool.
So
They took a program called Fusion and like borged it into
yeah.
I'm sorry, I couldn't
So there's
think of anything.
they basically added an effects
I had to catch it.
tab within Resolve that's essentially Fusion. They bought Fusion. It used to be its own thing, and then they bought it and then incorporated it into Resolve.
Growth by acquisition. I work in tech. I know how ugly these things can get. But Nick usually complains about how Adobe cobbles things together. It sounds like DaVinci Resolve, they integrated Fusion well into the program.
Yeah, it's not, well, maybe it is now, because I haven't used it at all. When they first put it in there, it was more limited, but they've fleshed it out, so it's almost the same. It has almost all the same features now.
Oh, all right.
So it works pretty well. To me, it makes more sense than After Effects, just because of the node-based system instead of the layer-based system. I don't know if you.
I definitely, I haven't gotten a good grip on Fusion, even though I've like gone into it from Resolve. I like the nodes. I definitely get like the nodes in the color, like how that all works, and how like I end up describing it to people sometimes who are new to, like, think of it like an assembly line. You know, like this happens here, and then that output becomes the input of the next one. I find it very easy to understand in the color page, but with Fusion it's different, and I don't really I mean, I get like how inputting this and you're spitting that out, but it's a little more complicated, it seems. I haven't really grasped it yet.
It's probably because I learned that first before. I've done some stuff in After Effects as well, and that seems to have worked quite well. So, I mean, it's probably just because I was more familiar with it and just went with it, I guess.
And you're teaching these things to yourself project by project, I'm guessing?
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh, wow.
School of YouTube and trial and error, which is probably why it takes me so much time, is I don't exactly know what I'm doing, and it's trial and error and figuring it out and watching some tutorials and that sort of thing. So
isn't that what you do in your professional life? Is you end up watching, you go on Reddit and then you learn how to do something? And
like every profession? As long as you're not watching YouTube videos of being a doctor, I think we'll be fine.
No, fortunately, yeah, don't need to do that, fortunately.
So there's an interesting thing that my brother hit on earlier when he said hobbyist. We're struggling, and we're not asking you in your medical professional capacity, but we have a negative mindset towards the word hobbyist when it comes to describing making movies, because our aim, Nick is a professional, Kirk is a semi-professional. I mean, you're professional in commercial and industrials.
Yeah.
All of us at best are semi-professional in narrative, because there isn't like a narrative industry locally.
Yeah.
So that's why we're like, oh, we don't want to use the word hobbyist because we think that it's like Voldemort and it keeps the semi-professional thing from growing. And I'm not looking for a diagnosis or anything other than just...
Yeah, but to be fair, other hobbyists have called themselves hobbyists. So other people have called themselves hobbyists. So I think why do you feel like you don't like the word when other people are fine with it?
Thank you, doctor. The reason is because I think it's a mindset thing.
Mindset?
The mindset of, if I think I'm a hobbyist, then I'm a hobbyist. And that's all this, work product is ever going to be. Now, a short is never going to make money unless it's a piece of a larger thing, typically. So what I like about Z-Fest and 48 Hour is you get hobbyists, semi-professionals, and professionals. Like, you get somebody who you worked with the Shocks, full-time professionals, who are like, now we got to do a narrative thing, and this is outside of our work. So even for the professionals, it's still adding on in a way that is an equalizer to some degree, if that makes sense for the narrative. How do you feel towards the negative emotion I've developed towards this one word?
I don't know. I guess I don't have a strong opinion on it.
Well, how do you define yourself working in the film industry?
I guess for me, it's sort of maybe just an excuse to be like, don't judge me too harshly because I'm just a hobbyist. So, like,
that's fair.
If something I do turns out pretty bad, I can just be like, well, at least I don't depend on this for my livelihood or something. I don't know. But, and also, it's a money-losing proposition for me. I mean, it's more like, instead of golf clubs or, I don't know, whatever other people do with their
spare time and money.
Yeah. It's, for me, it's my, it's camera equipment, and my time goes into this sort of thing. So it's my, I'm doing it for fun, I guess, is the distinction for me. It's, but not that you can't have a job that's also fun.
No, I think but those are recent shifts in people's relationship to work. It's a modern concept to go, oh, I can enjoy my job. If you enjoy your job, you'll never work a day in your life. Yeah,
which I'm sure. I mean, even if like, say, all of us were professionals in the industry and making, I don't know,
enough money to own a home and support a family.
Yeah, or beyond that, and we're like extremely wealthy. Like, there'd still be days you would dread it and not like it, right? I mean, so, and be stressed out. Like, I think about that sometimes. Like, if you think about the budgets or some of these films, and like how would that be if you're on set and you're worried about, like, is this actually going to work? And I think aspects of that would be quite stressful.
I think about it in relationship to like the salaried portion of what I make in my job. Like, if I thought about every minute at work as, well, this is X percentage of, but my work isn't I don't work in a perfectly linear way to where each hour is fungibly worth every other hour. Some hours worth 10 times more than another hour. And ideally, I have a bunch of those and not the other kind. And so 100% hear you. And I think that a good counter to my hobbyist argument could be if the mindset helps you relax and enjoy yourself, happy, relaxed people do better work, usually.
Yeah. I guess it's also just to clarify that, like, I am doing this for fun, and I'm not, because to me, professional would imply that you're getting paid for it, and I'm definitely, I'm just losing money on this, but that's okay, because I don't view it as, so maybe it's just putting myself in that mindset that I feel okay about the fact that I've just accepted the fact that it's just going to cost me money.
Legally speaking, I do not lose money on this. I make money 3 out of every 5 years because I make money as an entertainer that I then spend on entertainment product to build a library of IP that someday will have been worth it.
Okay. Yeah.
Or I'll die. or I'll
Die
die
trying.
before that happens. I'll die trying. There's no law saying you have to be good at business. There's just laws about how many years you are allowed to lose money in a row.
Okay, yeah.
So if you make money and then all they care about is does it all fall into this same business that you have or something. I'm not encouraging tax fraud. This is not legal advice. It's not tax advice.
Disclaimer,
it's just me speaking very specifically. I hear what you're saying. My counter to that, sir, is that I don't lose money at this because I don't spend more than I make doing my other entertainment jobs.
So what would you prefer that, instead of referring to myself as a hobbyist filmmaker, what would you prefer?
I'm a libertarian. I don't care how you refer to yourself.
Okay.
The bigger question, and this maybe would be helpful for like making this conversation broader to the community, because that's part of why we have the podcast, is like to help form fabric within the community of, hey, we've had professionals on, people who have directed multiple movies, feature-length movies, and we've had people who identify themselves as hobbyists, and the range of both sets of people is very diverse. So I don't care how you define yourself, but what I'm more curious about is things like Z-Fest is going through a transition. You've referred to this as a local community that, for whatever reason, is able to get, on average, 50 teams of people for like a decade creating, 57-minute works, which when you do the math, that's like how many feature-length movies Z-Fest puts out. Z-Fest more or less creates 5 feature films of content every year for itself. That's impressive. The problem is, like, why isn't that growing to, now there is people who create 10 different web series out of that, and then because they create those web series, then they go on to creating feature films that makes it possible for them to move out of the hobbyist into the semi-professional and finally over to the professional. And I think that just the arts are not designed in a way in both the country, the state, and our local area to where that is possible. It's changing because there's all those kids up in Duluth and Chisholm that are getting full-time work. And one of the questions we're asking folks is, where do you like to see? You've been a part of Z-Fest for as long, if not longer, than I've been doing it, which is more than half the time it's been going. Do you think it is a hobbyist festival, or do you see it as a place where the 3 different sets of people can come together?
I think that's one of the nice things about it, is that it's for all people of various ranges of experience and skill and professionalism. Because I like seeing like student films or first time films that are rough, but they're obviously they had a lot of fun with it, and there's a lot of times there's elements of it that are quite good. I mean, that's one of the things I like about it, is that you get all types of films and you can enjoy them for different things. I mean, some that are just absolutely impressive and look as good as any film you see in the theaters.
Also could be students, yeah. And to be fair, to give you your flowers, if you will, I have seen you interact with folks that are kind of coming up and saying, hey, I talked to my wife and we liked this movie of yours the best we've seen your movies for the past 2 or 3 years. No one in specific, but like just I've seen you say that to folks, and I think that's the best of what this could be. It's how do you build on that to something that creates what's the line, Nick? we have a narrative scene, we don't have a narrative industry.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So we want to grow from a scene to an industry, and how do we do, like, the 3-4 guys in this garage aren't going to do it by themselves. It's just an open conversation and question, because you're on a show that's called Movie Baiters, so the point is to get Minnesotans to disagree with each other and talk very directly about these things, which I don't think Minnesotans like to do. Have you noticed that?
Yeah,
being
we're
from South Dakota?
non-confrontational people most of the time.
I'm someone who will invite people over to my exterior garage and say, "Argue with me! Please come and argue with me, colleague."
It's hard to, like, I don't know how I would even argue with what you're saying there.
This is the
I would
interview
say,
segment.
it'd be nice to, I wish there was more of that here, because there's certainly a lot of talent, and, like, the theater scene here is very big, and there's lots of good actors, and there's obviously lots of talented people that work behind the camera as well. So it seems like it should be a place that it could be a vibrant film industry here. I wonder how much the weather has to do with it, to be honest. After having done a few things. Yeah, I know, but yeah.
Canada. That's my argument. Canada gets done with taxes. So it's because of the we lack infrastructure here. We don't have studio space.
Yeah. I mean, maybe if we had that going, because there's the talent pool here seems like it should be big enough to support us, and maybe just some kind of tax incentive or something.
Yeah,
I'm so not business oriented or minded that it's just beyond my scope of understanding.
It's interesting to have you in as a data point of somebody who is clearly able to accomplish something that is difficult, becoming a doctor, and going, yeah, I never would have considered being into making movies because, like, I'm risk averse. I want to be able to start a family, a married person, buy a house, have kids. That requires money, and in an unstable industry, I've heard other people say, who've committed themselves more economically to the industry, I'm basically saying I can't have kids. And that's damning and makes me sad. And I don't want it to be sad, so that's why talking about it hopefully helps, but I don't know. You're a psychiatrist? Is that the kind of doctor you are? Okay,
yeah. Cool.
Kirk's going to ask you the last question when we get to it, but I'm going to vamp for a bit unless you're ready.
Yeah, go ahead and vamp.
Well, I also think that part of the problem is silos, since you brought up, hey, why do we have all these people who are in the theater community and then all these people who have the commercial capability to make, because we have the second most advertising jobs per capita in the Twin Cities after New York, there's a lot of commercial work done here. But why don't those folks mix with the theater folks to be making great independent films? Let's just say 3 horror movies coming out of Minnesota a year made below $2 million for below $2 million that can somehow make, why isn't that happening? Someone hasn't put the pieces together who has a lot more money to fund something like that.
Yeah.
Hasn't made that, happen, but I think it could from some of the northern stuff. That's my theory, at least.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I've always thought it would be cool to have some kind of horror anthology that's sort of Minnesota-based that you could do. I mean, take some of the teams that do a good Z-Fest film, and then you say, how about a 25-minute film, horror-based, and then, or even 20-minute, and then you could have a cool horror anthology that would be, perhaps easier than one full feature, but perhaps not. I don't know, but
No, you're not wrong. We've said the same thing ourselves. We didn't go horror anthology. We were doing something else, but then, but
it has its own challenges. You're talking about.
I mean,
yeah.
There's a lot of those that came out in the 80s and 90s that I really are quite good. So
yeah, 4 Rooms. Yeah.
Cat's Eye, I think was the one. Stephen King.
Wait, what was it? Cat's Eye.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize
there was Tales from the Dark Side.
I was gonna say that one. I think that one's held up probably the best of them.
Yeah.
I think.
Sure.
So some of those types of things.
That's what we should be looking for at Z-Fest this year, boys. We should be looking for
people.
2 other teams that we could go, hey, we're going to make a feature with instead of the micro budget we're working on. See how that for
Wait, so you don't want to do the micro budget?
No, I do. I'm
no, that's a different debate.
Let's keep trying to stack. I'm trying to build the tracks as the train is already running usually.
Yeah, that sounds very dangerous.
How was that for vamping?
That was great. That was good. Impressive.
All right. So the last question we usually ask our guest, David, is Who would you recommend we ask to be on the podcast?
I'm gonna say Justin and Kristen Shack if you haven't had them on.
We have not. Yeah.
This is a good reason for me to follow up from Iowa with them. Because I was in Iowa City. You brought up Iowa City earlier. I saw them there last month for a festival.
Yeah.
And then I should have seen them at TCFF with your movie, but I'll catch them. So great, thank you. That's a great recommendation.
Yeah, I think so. Well, I think we had a lovely interview and a lovely debate, so we'll catch you guys next time. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening. For more JK Productions, find us on Instagram at JK Productions Team and on Facebook, JK Productions MN. Join us next time for another debate.